Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, everyone? I hope, inshallah, everyone is doing well. And this is again our program for our kids. Um, do you have the marker, ya Hussein? This is our program for our kids, and I will be doing it as you know. I will be doing it, inshallah, on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. This is more about building character through the Quran. And we talked about gratitude. We talked about gratitude and thank you, Jazakallah khair. We talked about gratitude before, and then last time we also talked about speaking good words, and we talked about وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. The rest of the week, Brother Jameel, inshallah, will take over and give you some wisdom, guys. So now I'll start my topic today with a story. What is the story for today, and what do we learn from this story, and what is the ayah that we'll memorize, and what are the exercises we're supposed to practice at home. Now, first, what is the story? Story is something that happened with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with one of his companions, and then a man passed by. And the Prophet ﷺ asked the companion, "What do you think of this man?" And the companion said, "This is actually a rich man. If this man wanted to get married, people will see him as a perfect candidate. And if there is a problem between two people, people will like to respect his opinion because he's very rich." And the Prophet knew a lot of bad things this man used to do, but the Prophet did not expose him. The Prophet did not tell people about these things. The Prophet knew that this man doesn't help others, and he used to show off, but the Prophet remained silent. And then another man passed by, and the Prophet asked his companion, "Now, what do you think of this man?" The man said, "This is a very poor man. If he wanted to get married, he will be a very poor candidate, and people will not be interested in him. And if there is a problem between two people, if there is a problem between two people, and he mentioned anything to help them, people will not take his words seriously. So they will not listen to his opinions." The Prophet deep down knew that this man has a lot of good things that he's doing, but people do not know about it. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Did you know that هذا خير من ملء الأرض مثل هذا?" So this man that you think is poor, this poor man is better than so many of the first as filling the earth. That poor man that you belittle and you look down on is better than the earth full of the other man. It's not about rich and poor, but the Prophet knew some good qualities. And the moral here is that we should treat people fairly and respectfully, regardless of how they look, regardless of how much money they have, regardless of how old they are. These things do not actually matter. The problem is sometimes we discriminate a lot. And this is an important word, discriminate. What does that mean? Discriminate means you treat people differently because of how they look, because of their income, because of their religion, because of their culture, because of their disability, because of their race, because of their weight, because of their age. There are many ways, many reasons people unfortunately discriminate. And this causes a lot of stress for the people who are discriminated against. This is really this is really very bad thing to do. And we see discrimination. You can add this to your vocabulary now. We see many discrimination in schools, in jobs, in grocery store, in restaurants, and so on. And the problem is sometimes people discriminate and they do not know it. Like the man, like the companion sitting with the Prophet, He was discriminating and he didn't know that. He didn't feel it until the Prophet reminded him of different values. It's not about how you look, it's more about your heart and the good and the service you're doing. It's not about the appearances. So, do we need to learn about this? Of course, yes, because it matters to all of us. I found out that there was a study in 2015. I know you guys are smart kids, so you can understand what I am saying. There was this survey in 2015 about stress in America. And this study showed that most Americans feel that they were discriminated against. They had this experience of discriminating when someone is treated differently because of how they look, because of their color, because of their income, because they are poor, or because of all of their age, because of their weight, because of a disability. They were discriminated because of their religion. They were discriminated against because of all of these. So it's important to talk about that. That is why we'll move quickly to my favorite part. What's my favorite part? Can you guess? My favorite part is that part of the Quran, the ayah that we will memorize. I will repeat. These ayat are good thoughts, are seeds that you plant in your mind so that it can direct your behavior and shape you and shape your behavior. So it's important to have these good thoughts planted so early so that it can grow and bear fruits, inshallah. Now, what is the ayah? I'll say the ayah now in Arabic and in English, and you'll just pick one part of it to memorize in Arabic and in English. The ayah is so beautiful. It says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people. And this ayah is from the Quran, ayah 40, surah or chapter 49, ayah or verse number 13. This is very beautiful. It says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ. We created you from a male and female, meaning referring to Adam and Eve. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ. And we made you into tribes and people, different cultures, different people, different countries. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you get to know one another. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. Indeed, the most honorable among you are what? The rich? No. The people who have um, who are more fortunate than others? No. The people who are stronger? No. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable among you are the people who have more taqwa, more piety. They are connected with Allah. They are mindful of Allah. They have this kind heart. They love others. They love Allah. And you know what? This is something that we cannot even judge because no one knows who really have taqwa. No one knows who really have a good relationship with Allah. So it's like never belittle anyone, never make fun of anyone because even if you don't see it, they could be better than you. They could be closer to Allah than you. You could be closer to Allah than me. Just because I know more does not mean that I am better. So I'll pick that part from the ayah I want you to memorize. And this ayah says, or the part I'll pick says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. So I'll say again slowly, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Okay, again, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. It might be a little hard for some. That's why we're meeting 3 days a week. So it will be a chance to reflect on these 3 quotes of the Quran about character building, and I believe it will be very beautiful, guys, and you will appreciate it, inshallah. So what does that mean? It means indeed. This is to emphasize the sentence. Indeed, the most honorable among you عند Allah, in the sight of Allah, are أتقاكم, are those with more taqwa. What is taqwa? Taqwa means to be mindful of Allah in a way that keeps you away from bad things and encourage you to do good things. This is basically what taqwa is. It's that state. It's a state of faith that makes you mindful of Allah and so alert that you stay away from the haram and you're encouraged to do what is good and what is halal. So now this is my part, and then we'll talk about why discussing this is important. Again, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. It's not about your money. The most honorable among you in the sight of Allah are the people with more taqwa. It's not about more money. It's not about more. It's not about more money. It's not about more education. It's not about more houses. It's more about more taqwa, your relationship with Allah, because this is what actually matters. Many people ignore this topic, but the Quran does not ignore it. Why? Why do you think the Quran is interested in talking about this? Number one, because we all, children and adults, notice that there are differences between people. We all notice it. So we need to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it in the right way, the media could corrupt people's minds on how they look at others. Books could corrupt people's mind. Peers could corrupt people's mind. So it's good to see the instruction from the Quran on how we see the differences around us and what we can do about it. So this is the first thing. It is the reason why the Quran talks about it, because it is so noticeable that no one can ignore. Second, the Quran, and I'll erase this, the Quran teaches us that we all belong to Adam. So number one, the reason why we talk about this is because it is something we all notice. And second, the Quran talks to us and teaches us that we all belong to Adam. Isn't it interesting? Regardless of how you look, regardless of your nationality, regardless of your culture, regardless of everything that is different from one to another, we all belong to Adam and Eve. We all have the same father and same mother. Let me do this experiment. Okay? Let me give you that one lemon, and remember it. And then I'll give you that second lemon, and let me give you this third one. And we have one more, Let me give you some more. Maybe we need 4 more. And then these are some lemon. Imagine if I gave you one of them and it is yours. Okay? And then I put all of them in one place. And I asked you to tell me where yours is. So imagine that this is yours. And remember it. This is yours for someone else. This is for someone else. This is for you. This is for him. This is for her. This is for Ahmed. This is for Muhammad. This is for Nadia. This is for Omar. This is for Ibrahim. Now, are these all boys or Fatima? Now, If I asked you to give me the one that I choose for you, would you be able to do that? Maybe you can. Maybe because you know that this is uh, very distinguished. Maybe this is big one and it has roses. Maybe this is small. Maybe this is perfect. Maybe this is big, but it's all lemon at the end. So there might be different sizes, different shapes, different forms, but eventually it is all the same. So this is to remind you that we all belong to Adam and Eve. So do not let these differences make you uh, judgmental on who people are. So these different colors, different shapes, different dents and bruises do not make them less lemon. These are lemon, and we need to celebrate these differences. And this is my third part, that we talk about this because the Quran celebrates differences. The Quran celebrates the differences that we have in this life. Some people, in order to make other accepted, they think that they need to talk about similarities in order to connect with others. No, we can celebrate the differences because we can learn from the different cultures, from different people, from different nationalities, from different colors. We can learn from our differences a lot of great lessons. As I said in the beginning, the Quran says, uh, we created you from male and female, and we made you into tribes and peoples so that you get to know one another. It's not a clash. The differences, it does not lead to a clash. The differences lead to exchanging experiences and exchanging talents and skills and benefits and learning from each other. This is how the Quran look at the differences we have. I'll close with my fourth reason why we talk about this. There is one great scholar that I really admire. I did give a khutbah about this before, and I quoted him. He said, the human race, with all of the differences it has, it looks like a beautiful garden. So to me, that was an amazing image. He looked at the human race with the differences we have as a beautiful garden that has many flowers with different colors, and these different colors made the garden very beautiful. The garden would be beautiful with the different colors and the different type of plants it has than if it has only one plant or one color. He looked at the differences we have, the colors we have, as something that adds beauty to the human race. And this is in line with what we believe in. We believe that we all belong to Allah, and the languages and the different colors. I don't like to say different races because there is one human race. So the different colors, all of that is one of the signs of God. All of that turns us to one source, that we all belong to Adam and Eve, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of all of this. Again, do not forget the ayah that we're supposed to memorize for today. It's inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Do not judge people by the way they look. Do not judge people by their money. Do not make fun of somebody because he has a problem, or because he's suffering from a specific disease. That is really, really, really bad. Why? Because this person you owe him a good sense of encouragement and support, not to make fun of him or her. And this is what we said last time. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. So all of these values are actually connecting with each other. Now, let's move to my last part of this class. And this is about, because I do not want to make it longer. Last time we spent a lot of, almost 30 minutes, so I want to keep this one short. Now, what are the exercises we're supposed to have for today, guys? Number one, you may hear somebody making jokes about different races and different people. Do not laugh at these jokes. Do not laugh at these racial jokes. Why? Because it is not funny. It is very disrespectful. Imagine if someone made fun of a lady's hijab. That's really very offensive. If you made fun of how somebody looks like, and this is really, really very bothering. I saw one day on the social media, I saw some people posting a picture and calling it names and saying this is the ugliest lady and very nasty comments. It was sickening. It was really hard for me to read these comments and I stopped. Because imagine if that person they posted their picture, imagine if he read some of these comments. It makes them very stressed, depressed. They feel lonely. They feel that they do not belong here to this community. They feel that everyone is against them, and we may turn them into really evil people. Not because they are evil, but we made them so. So we need to make sure that we take these things seriously, and we need to care about how people feel. And by the way, I try to simplify the class, but I believe it's for everybody. It's for the adults and for the kids and for all ages, basically. That is why it's important for parents, if you really want to raise a moral child, that you avoid these things at home, because discrimination is learned. And sometimes the kids will pick up these comments and think it's funny and discriminate without feeling it, without knowing about it. So for parents, be careful about what you're saying about others. And be careful to connect your kids with the Quranic values, not with some wrong cultures that we may have. Number two, do not make fun of somebody because of how they look. Because of how they look. It seems like something you do not do. It seems like negative, but this is important to me. You need to, because if you stop these two things, you would be doing great service for others. And if you add to this, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, you're actually more positive. Number three, and this is very clear here, and it's a good lesson. I want you, based on that image that I talked about, the image of the garden, can you draw that garden? And it will be a very creative image. Draw that garden, the human garden. We can call it the human garden. So draw the human garden. And in this garden, you can have people with different colors. You can have people with different cultures, different religions, people with different social levels, like rich people, poor people, different jobs, and different countries. And you write something that would indicate that you wish that we all cooperate and learn from each other. So in this way, it would be a good example for you to accept others. And remember, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most honorable among you are the people who have more taqwa, better relationship with God. And by the way, even if I pray, you can use that. You cannot use that as a proof that I have more taqwa. No, taqwa is something between us and Allah. That's why the secret of this ayah is also to keep you away from judging people. By the way, judging people does not mean that you don't tell people, you do not correct people's mistake, you do not tell them what is right and what is wrong. But judging mean calling them bad or good. No, bad and good is something exclusive to Allah, because Allah knows our motive, knows the details of our life. But we can say this is bad and this is wrong. But I will not say this person is bad or wrong, because this is only something that Allah would know. And I also want to give them a chance to improve. Because once I label somebody as bad, uh, they may work on that actually to prove it, and they will give up because people do not believe in them anymore or anyway. So I want you to avoid these racial jokes. And there are big words that we use today. So I hope that it's clear now. And do not make fun of somebody because of how they look, or because of their culture, or because of their income level, or because of their car. And draw the human garden. And I'll see you next week, inshallah, on Friday, because we'll meet 3 days a week. And I hope that you take that opportunity to review the three quotes we learned. And I hope that you will be working on your building your character at home with your parents. And I hope that also parents will take these seriously and model all of these values at home. And I love you guys so much. Wassalamu alaikum wa